Hi everybody, it's Moira McDonald. A wee junk journal for you, and in terms of size it is 5¼ by 7¾ in inches. It is hardcover, made from some packaging, and I've covered it in scrap paper. I've covered it in scrap baking and I'm cooking it in the oven. Scrap paper. I think that's because I'm always hungry. I'm trying to cut down again, and incidentally I have had a haircut, so let's see if we can bring that up to let you see. There you go. My hairdresser will insist on giving me a fringe, and I don't know why, because I really don't want one. But I don't have the heart to tell her because she's been doing it for so long. Right, so there you go. Anyway, haircut all organised. Let's get back to the journal. Right, so the front cover is scrapbook and paper, and I have added a Tim Holtz rosette here with a wee kind of bling pearl on it, a couple of wee images which are layered up. This one's layered up on lace. The inside cover is fabric, and this fabric was given to me but in Happy Meal from the very lovely Edwina Kinch, and Edwina has a challenge going on just now with a giveaway. You need to watch back her videos. I've still to do my card. You have to send her a card and she'll ultimately decide at the end who's won our giveaway, but our giveaway is well worth getting because it's 2 different journals, so there'll be a first prize and a second prize, is I think how she's working it. So that's Edwina Kinch. If you don't subscribe or follow, please do so, because she's very, very good as well. She does wonderful things with lace and wonderful journals too. Anyway, let's get into what we're looking at here. This particular journal, there's 2 signatures in this, and I have I'm conscious of the fact that there really isn't an awful lot of actual writing space in this journal, but you can have a look at it and see what you think. I have used a combination of papers and fabrics to provide all sorts of different textures. We've got fabric up the top here, there's lace running down that bit, and I think that's a different lace there. Image and stamp, and then that's just corrugated card that's been cut in a heart shape, and a bit of stamping down the bottom. Over the page we've got a paper ruffle that I've sewn, and again some indiscriminate stamping and a bit of stenciling. The book page here is from a Learn French book that belonged to somebody in Manchester in the 50s. I bought it online, but the girl's name was on the inside of it, and it's taken me quite a wee while to actually pluck up courage to start spoiling it. Well, not spoiling it, but cut it up effectively, because you can't help but think when it's lasted that long. But then I suppose it reached the point where whoever was looking after it felt they no longer had a connection to whoever it was that owned it, so it came to me, and now it's in this journal. Here again we've got fabric here, a different fabric, a bit of lace, some images from a French magazine, and a bit of lace down the bottom with some, what do you call it? It's not just thread, it's for doing the likes of cross stitch and that, but it's a metallic pink, and there's also a big applique here on top of a piece of small playing card. Over the page I've used an old kids book, and I cut up the pictures in a story. So the first 6 pictures form pages in the first signature, and the rest of the story is included as part of the ephemera that goes along with this. The story was called The Message in a Bottle, and it's from an old 1950s annual that I picked up. Fabric here, but this is paper from a thingy scrapbooking pad, and I've got some vintage buttons that I recently got. I bid on some on eBay, and I forgot that I had bid on them, and I then purchased some vintage buttons, so of course did I not win the bid as well. So I've got hundreds of vintage buttons that are all kind of white or off cream, That's Timmy barking on the outside. But I've got to laugh as well, because the woman that I bought, the ones I didn't bid on, the woman contacted me and said, if you're looking for any more, I've got plenty. And I felt like saying, so have I could sell you them back. I've got so many of them now. But anyway, she was just trying to be nice and move her merchandise. Right, die cut here. It's a Sue Wilson die from Creative Expressions, and some stamping round about it. This is, I think, a Tim Holtz stamp, and a wee die cut here, just again to add a wee bit extra interest to that page. This scrapbooking paper, because you can't write in it, I included a piece of writing paper in the top, and I did some stenciling. Fussy cut a butterfly and just added it because there were butterflies on this page, and I just thought it added to it. This is one of these tip-ins. Is it a tip-in? That's what somebody told me when I asked the question the last time. I don't know what it's meant to signify, a tip-in. You know, I could see the point if I could understand what the words are. I'm going to shoot that dog in a minute. I don't know what he's barking at, probably my neighbour or a bird or something. Right, another page with some stenciling and stamping. Glassine bag here, and I've stuck just a small piece of ephemera on top, wee mini envelope, and inside a wee stamped card saying vintage transportation. Bear with me just a second, because I'm obviously going to have to deal with the dogs. Just 2 seconds.
Right, get in! Come on! In!
Really sorry about that. Right, another page from, another picture from that storybook. A couple of laces down the bottom, scrapbooking paper, and a wee image of a wee girl up there, and another couple of vintage buttons. There's a few vintage buttons in this book. I think there's going to be a few vintage buttons in virtually everything I do from now on. Another image from that book, scrapbooking paper, fussy cut butterfly, and lace down the bottom here. The lace is completely stuck in, and a stamp in colours that matched up with the butterfly in the page. Another die cut from Sue Wilson. I'm always worried I call her Sue Olson. No, you know, no disrespect to Sue, but Sue doesn't do dies. Sue does wonderful junk journals. So it's a Sue Wilson Creative Expressions die. Scrapbooking paper here, doily. Another Creative Expressions Sue Wilson die in this one. Another scrapbooking page. First tuck spot, and in here I have included one of my tags that I did following on from Marie Blundell's video on organising backgrounds for your tags. I actually did stamping on the backgrounds with the intention that I would subsequently cut and then layer up other images. So I used 3 different colours of green ink from Tim Holtz, and then did some stamping on that, along with a couple of images and a piece of applique. And here is some, it's an advertising page that I've shrunk down. I think it comes from a 1920s magazine called, is it Photo Play or Picture Play or something? There's other pages in it somewhere in the book, so you'll be able to see them. This is the centre of the first signature. At this stage I've only tied that in a bow, but I intend doing something else with this. I'm not sure just what yet. I don't know if I'll be able to put beads on it or not. I did an envelope, made an envelope out of an Edith Holden page. I left this because it was a wee kind of poem on this page by Hartley Coleridge, whoever Hartley Coleridge is. The other side I have used lace, which I have layered on top of a piece of sparkly tulle. Both the lace and the tulle were given to me by Lisa Owen, who has her own YouTube channel. I frequently mention her because she's probably one of my very closest friends, and she's excellent at what she does. Plus she's very, very kind. Cut a corner from scrapbook and paper, the wee mini envelope that's appeared in the last few journals, and a couple of hearts. Inside, I've also put a wee bit of lace. In fact, it's 2 different laces here at the top. Inside, by way of ephemera, I think there's a couple of things here. There's my tax forum, which I added a flower and butterfly to, and a page of the New York Herald telling you about the Titanic sinking. I think this appears later in the book on a very smaller scale compared to that, so you can have a look at it. Now the envelope that I made up doesn't fit in the pocket, so it just lies in the centre just now. Right, so we've got a die cut there and a stamped out an image in that. Doily again, another die cut. Another tuck spot here. Oh, that's that advert that appeared there earlier, shrunk down, the image of a girl and a page from a German vocabulary book or whatever, and some more ephemera from an old magazine. Again, shrunk down, it's photocopied and shrunk down by myself. The magazine pages are something, I bought a disc on eBay, and it's got effectively some magazines from 1921, 22 and 23, so I just went and selected random pages and converted them from a PDF file to JPEGs and then printed them out for this book. This is the decoupage napkin. You'll probably recognise these flowers and the butterfly because they were the cover of one of my napkins recently. In fact, I think, was it not the one that I did as the giveaway? Here we've got another part of the glassine bag tuck spot and a Rolodex card that I decorated following on from Gina at the Firefly Studio 67's videos, and just a big circle die cut from a paper pad. We've got lace here, another page from that book with the kids story. Oh look, vintage button. Another one of my pieces of ephemera, Scottish ephemera, and I have overlaid that with some poppies, some red lace there, and a wee piece of scrapbooking paper there. And here we have the story again, 2 different fabrics, piece of sari silk and a wee bit of lace, and over that was another lace. Here I've used that writing pad again, stenciled, and fussy cut another butterfly on it to add to it. In this page I have a variety of fabrics. These fabrics are actually jacquard, so they feel quite different from the cottons that are in the book. A wee bit of lace, a little bit of seam binding that I dyed, a couple of Indian stamps that came along with some of the bowhill kit that I got recently. Image here, bit of stamping that I did, and another magazine page that I shrunk down. This is also an image that I don't know if I got her from Pinterest or if she was one of the girls that was in the CD I bought, but I put her into a wee kind of frame and shrunk her down for this page. Picture play, that's it. No, Timmy, be quiet. He's playing with Daisy at my back. Right, we'll just try and ignore him, shall we? This is a magazine page, another part of that story, couple of bits of fabric and some washi there, another tip in, and this one has, just for a change, vintage buttons along the top. Over the page is the end of that signature. A variety of images here that I have layered up to make a pocket, and in the ephemera it is the rest of the story, along with another "Oh what a squeeze" story on that side. It's the magazine, not the magazine, but the book that came from, the annual, it was from 1954, and they weren't very politically correct, that's all I can say about those days, so I have to be very selective as to what stories I can actually read and use. Some are just a wee bit over the top in terms of their language. Right. Oh, the secret of winning a husband. I think I'm not sure if the actual page is in this somewhere. It's from an advertising picture. I didn't bother reading it, but I think basically you've got to be very nice and buy a book on etiquette to win a husband. And yet here I was, not having had any bother with that, I managed to get a couple of them. So, you know, what can I say? Music paper, die cut images here, just of a key and heart, which is the lock. Wee image up the top, a big applique flower down the bottom. Over the page, fabric, lace. This lace came from my friend Vera Yook. Vera is in Canada and she won my first giveaway. So she sent me some Happy Mail not that long ago, which I was very happy to get. That's part of the lace. Can't remember who did that image, but it's something I bought on eBay, on Etsy rather. Just a wee circle that I cut from the scrapbooking paper and a wee girl up there. Over here is another one of my die cut pages. This is one of the paper clip, well it's not a paper clip, it's the Kirby grip / bobby pin idea that I've been using in the last few journals, but I don't have anything added in here. But there's 2 of them in the book that are there for if you need to store anything. Old 50s book page, I Spy Wildflowers. I've used that in my botanical journal that I did a while back. This page, again, we've got fabric, a wee bit of stenciling in the page, lace over the top here, lace here, fabric, another one of those postcards, another image from a disc of, I think it's French 1914 war posters. So there's a couple of them, excuse me, a couple of them appear in this. And a wee blind stone here. A piece of ledger paper that I cut using another Sue Wilson die. More French images from magazines, again shrunk down. This wee ticket, I don't think you'll be able to pick it up, but it actually says Admit 1 embossed in it. Map of Europe, fabric here, music, notes, die cut out, and a wee image of a girl. Over the page we have another couple of the jacquard fabrics. That's a stamp, big colourful applique, and a piece of ephemera that I shrunk down and added the poppy to. Another one in the tickets, and these are a couple of different washes that I've got, washi tapes. I know everybody likes the sound of that. It's just tracing paper that's been copy dyed. Another couple of fussy cut butterflies here. This is a big washi tape that I got and just die cut, stamped on it. Magazine page. I actually had to adjust that a wee bit because the girl, I've got to laugh, it's for beauty powder of some description for your face, but the magazine had clearly been very badly damaged and she looked like she had a face like a dartboard. So I did tidy up her face a wee bit. She still has very, very rosy cheeks, but then I think it is to advertise rouge, so who am I to say no? French poster down here, it certainly looks as if it's Lautrec's work, but I don't know for sure. Tiffany and Company stamp, for which I need to thank Tina Lady. Tina did some stamping for me recently and sent me quite a number of these, and I have some to send to Lisa and I haven't done it yet. My apologies for that, but I will get them in the post at some point. So that's been layered up on a piece of scrapbooking paper. That's that page of the Titanic newspaper again. A wee bit of jacquard fabric, some bling stones. I thought she looked particularly sad, this girl, so it went quite well with the Titanic advert and the New York Tiffany stamp and the hearts, as if, you know, she lost the love of her life in the Titanic. And I stained a piece of lace with both lilac and rose pink down the bottom, so that could have been part of her wedding dress. I made a wee story for myself as I was doing that page. Over the page we have book page, which is stained with, I think it's Tattered Rose distressing ink. Die cut of an octagon, a picture of a wee girl. A page that I don't think I've actually used it yet, but I made this page with the intention of using it in a botanical book if I get round to doing another botanical. Another signature here, by the way, signature centre, and again, as I've said, I still haven't actually finished off what I'm going to do with the centre, but I'll get that sorted today. Advert for Colgate. The Colgate apparently used to do lots of different things before they just ended up doing toothpaste. This is for some sort of talcum powder. Fabric ruffle here and applique flower. Over the page I've got a tuck, and I used a guest check. I put card on the back, coffee stain card, so that you can use it for writing should you desire. I had decoupaged again the flower from the front cover of the last journal, which was the giveaway. I stuck on an image that I got, I think it was Pion is the name, or Pion, Pion is the image, is the company that make them. I think they're Swedish or Swiss or something like that. And a wee paper ruffle down the bottom there. Doily, more die cut butterflies on that page to write on. Tracing paper again, book page. Another one of those paper clips, come bobby pin, come Kirby grip, and it's another tip in, which would open the whole way up if it wasn't for the fact that I'd put that on that page. Here I'm using an old advert for cornflakes as a tuck spot, and another tag that I made using Marie Blundell's How to Do Background Things, and I just added some extra stamping and a wee bit of another book page ephemera, again from that Picture Play magazine, or one of them should I say. Here's another couple of the Picture Play pages. Oh, Paula Forder, this is your wee flower. I sewed that up following your tutorial. I'm not as good as you, so it's not quite as neat as yours is, but it was my first go and I thought it still turned out quite good. So I've added it to this with another, dare I say it, vintage button, and it's up in the corner there. Wee bit of stamping here and cheesecloth as well. Over the page, another tuck spot, and it's another one of my tags with some shrunken down images from the magazines. I have popped them up on foam pads just to give them a wee bit extra sort of emphasis. So you need to be very careful when you're putting them in and out the tucks. Die cut circle, it's kind of fancy paper, it's a bit shimmery, and a die cut tag. Big page, nearly done. Here, the Sue Wilson die, I have overlaid it with an oval that has been stamped with Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous stamps. This page, I die cut this square, and the dies I have, it's a tonic die. It comes with piercing to enable you to thread material through it, or thread of some description. So I've used the sparkly pink thread through that, along with two of the jacquard fabrics down the bottom, decoupaged butterfly up the top and stamp, and an old image here. There's a piece of cheesecloth behind her too. Over the page, paper ruffle, and this is the end of the book. What I have here is basically just a big piece of ephemera. You can't write on it or anything like that, but I just thought it was an attractive thing to include. I've die cut the image either side in the centre here, and I have put in a piece of tulle that has some glitters in it, and it just looks kind of sparkly and attractive. So it's quite nice for including. So there you go, that's my book. My book will be going for sale in my Etsy shop, which is Bygones Cards, and I think that's about it. If there's anything at all that you would like to ask or say or comment on, please give me a shout, because as you know, I like to have a wee chat with you whenever I can get the chance. I shall go and start thinking about the next journal, which will probably be back to the small envelope size, because I think I'm going to do a couple of them before I tackle anything else. But I don't know what the inside is yet, because I haven't really thought that far ahead. But we'll see. So thanks very much for joining me today. Thanks for having a look. I look forward to speaking to you all again soon, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks again. Bye.